Hi everybody, so one of the big questions you'll be asking yourself if you're considering buying Battlefield 5 is what's changed since Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 4? What is different about the game? Now remember, this is the beta, so things will change for the full release, but some of these things, they're quite core to what the developers have been talking about. So let's start off with your classes, the soldiers you use. And the way that Battlefield 5 does it is you have something called your company. And within your company, this all looks fairly familiar. We've got an assault player, we've got a medic, we've got support, and we've got a recon or a scout or a sniper, whatever you want to call them. And then we've also got allied and axis forces, although I think that's really going to come into more of the game when it goes on full release, when you can use your cosmetic changes to how your soldier looks, because we haven't been able to do that in the beta. Let's go into assault and see what this means. So assault, combat role, grenadier. What we've got now is the assault players. They have assault rifles mainly, and then we have our trait, which is battle hardened, which means we regenerate a large amount of health and other combat roles. Again, when the game goes out on full release, probably these traits are going to be changeable in some sort of leveling system, in a similar way to the system in Battlefield that we have in Battlefield 1 and we had with the squad system in Battlefield 4, whereas your squad stayed together, you know, certain perks, if you like, were enabled. But the things we can really look at are the weapons. So if we look at the weapons, so this is the STG-44, which is one of the starter weapons in the beta, and it's how these weapons are upgraded and customized that is really different. So let's start off with, let's look at the customization. So as you'd expect, you know, you've got different colours for the different parts of the gun, if you like, that you unlock as you play the game, and these appear in your armory, so you can then use them. And then if we go up to the sight, we have the default iron sights, or if we come down, we've got like an aperture sight, a reflex sight, and a medium scope. And again, these are unlocked as you play the game. You don't get them to start off with. And that's similar to Battlefield 4 was like that, wasn't it? You would unlock different types of sights, like the Coyote and the RDS and all that sort of thing. Whereas in Battlefield 1, you actually had different versions of the gun, didn't you? You had like the Mondragon Sniper, or was it the Mondragon Trench? You know, different ones had different optics, which again you unlocked with war bonds as you leveled up, but the individual guns were the same. So that's a little bit different, but it's not the end of the world. What is very different is the upgrade system. So let's look at this upgrade system. So for each gun you own, as you're using it, that gun levels up. So this is very Battlefield 4. And then as you go through the levels, you can use the war buttons. I think they're called war buttons. If you look in the top right corner of the screen, that money basically. When you reach the appropriate level, you can then buy an upgrade. Now these are perks, if you like. These are very similar to Call of Duty perks. That's the thing. So we start off, we can buy quick aim. Then we get faster bullets, and then you can choose which way you want to go on the upgrade tree. One side is normally to do with hip firing and running on the, you know, firing on the move, and the other one is to do with stationary shooting. So I went for improved stationary accuracy, less horizontal recoil. I ended up with improved moving accuracy, though maybe I should have chosen less vertical recoil. In the beta, we can't change any of these. Once you've chosen them, that's it. You're stuck with them on that gun. Alright? Now you might say, well wait a minute, what happens if I do want a run and gun version of the STG-44? Well, all is not lost, because you can. What you do is if you go back and you go into your armory here, and you go into your weapons, and go into assault, you can buy another STG-44. So if you buy another STG-44, I've now got two STG-44s. And then what I can do is, if we then go back to my company and look at my assault guy, I could have two versions of this. And therefore what I could do is customize this one, upgrade this one to a different weapon path, so I could go through more accurate hip fire and work my way up that way. So hopefully we'll be able to rename our weapons and do it that way. Now, is this a good or is it a bad thing? I don't know. What it definitely does, it gives an advantage to players who have been playing the game for a while, because you will have leveled up your guns, and your guns are definitely better. This isn't a rock, paper, scissors thing. You know, if you go for improved stationary accuracy, there is no, oh, by the way, that means that you get really bad hip fire now. You know, that there's no bad side to each of these things. They're just making the gun better, which is a little bit disappointing, because in things like Battlefield 4, where you could do this sort of thing, to get like less horizontal recoil, you'd have to fit like a heavy barrel on or something like that. But that would then mean that you would end up with something like less stability, because the gun would be heavier to carry, and so you would always have the yin with the yang, if you like, the good with the bad. You could choose to have one thing and, you know, get better moving accuracy, but that would mean you wouldn't have as good steady accuracy. So that's a big change from Battlefield 1. I don't really want to talk about the gadgets, because the gadget system isn't all in the game yet. You know, we've only got a few things, so there's not really much to talk about there. So the next changes are really about when we're playing the game. So if we dive into a game, okay, so this all looks very similar, doesn't it? And it is, you know, you can choose where to spawn. We're playing as the Germans, so I can spawn over here. I can spawn into aircraft. Again, I'm not going to be talking about aircraft and tanks and everything, because in the beta we haven't really had a chance to play with them very much. But let's spawn in over here. So I've spawned in as a medic. So the first thing to notice, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that I've only spawned in with 64 rounds of ammunition, which isn't very many at all. It really is. That's not much ammo at all. That's, you know, if I fire a whole clip off and replace it, that's it. I've got another clip. So I've spawned in with 2 clips of ammo, which isn't enough. So what that means you have to do is that if you look on the mini map, you'll see the little box I'm coming up to now. You have to find an ammo place. So I'm now up to 90 rounds, which isn't too bad. Also, you'll see around the map these things. These are medical supply dumps. Now, in Battlefield 5, if you get shot and you get wounded, your health obviously goes down. If you are by yourself, it will not improve. It will not go up unless you have a med pack. If you look very carefully in the bottom the middle at the bottom, you'll see there's a little med pack with a 1 next to it. So if you, I think if you press and hold up on the D-pad, it will then take that medic pouch. Now, if you are with your squad and you're all together, you will get some health regeneration, I understand. So that's really important, that this scarcity of ammunition means that when you're pushing forward, if in your squad you don't have a support player to give you bullets, you're going to run out of ammo pretty quick. Now, you can pick up some ammo off fallen enemies as well, so that could be quite good. It also means that if you're playing as a support player, you must be throwing ammo to your friends all the time. Now, the next really important thing is spotting. See that aeroplane there? See these aeroplanes? I can't spot them. That's a Spitfire, isn't it? So I should be spotting that. But no, can't spot them. Let's see if we can see any enemies as well. Normally you would tap your shoulder button. Right, so there's an enemy tank. Can't spot it. Now see, I can heal now, so I press it up. There we go, I've used my med pack. Now because I'm a medic, I've got another med pack. My job is obviously to throw this stuff. So, there's no spotting for ordinary soldiers as you're running around. You can't spot the enemy, there's no 3D spotting. See, I'm trying to spot these soldiers. Blatting away. Probably going to get killed now. Now, that guy's killed me. If you look very careful at him, you'll see, to start off, we had a very, very fine red outline. That's the kill cam. Now, the other thing I'm doing now is I'm saying, come and save me, I'm still alive. Nobody's coming to save me. You can slow down the rate at which you bleed out so someone can come and do a revive. Now, another big change is that in Battlefield 5, any member of the same squad can revive another member of the same squad. You don't have to be a medic. And this is good. I've decided, yeah, this is good because it keeps squads together and it keeps you rocking and rolling. It takes longer for a non-medic to revive a squad mate than it does a medic, but they can still do it. And I think probably in the main game you're going to be able to drag your squad mates to safety as well. If you're a medic though, you can revive anybody. The other thing is, now we're in this revive screen, you can just follow your squad around, and if I was adding more than one member I could change between them, and I could spawn on him if he isn't under fire. If all of your squad is dead like that, then you go back to the traditional screen, or you could then choose to go to that screen straight away. So let's spawn over here. Now, you can spot... look at my ammo again. I've just got 2 clips of ammo, which isn't very much at all. Oop. Now, you can spot enemy players if you suppress them first. Oh, I was trying to do that, but I couldn't. So, if you're firing at somebody and you're missing them, but they get suppressed, you can tap and they will get 3D marked for a short period of time with like this red icon, so your squad mates can actually see the person and then engage them. Let me skip that. Let's dive straight back in. Now, you do have a form of spotting that you can do, but the form of spotting for this is actually you're just putting a mark on the landscape. And you do it the same way as you did traditional spotting. You tap the right shoulder button. So if I look down sights of that house, tap right shoulder button, see that marker's appeared? And that will stay there for a few seconds and then it goes. So if you're working in a squad where you're speaking to each other on comms, you could say enemy enemy north where on my yellow marker, and they could then engage that enemy. But that's only sort of stuck on the landscape. It doesn't stick to an enemy. So this means that you've really got to be very careful as you're moving around, because it can be very difficult to see enemies and against all the smoke and all the effects and everything that's happening in the background. Right, there's an enemy down there, I think. Right, there's a few of them. Where did they go? They head over to F. So, they're the kind of the really main gameplay changes that will affect the way you play. The fact that you spawn in with very little ammo. The fact that the kill cam doesn't really exist, and you don't have 3D spotting anymore. Other things that have changed, which I think undoubtedly are better, is things like we said about you can revive all your squad mates, and also this is an amazing looking game. It's absolutely amazing. It's set in the perfect period, you know. We're set in World War II. Who could want anything better, with Spitfires flying ahead, ME-109s, Tiger tanks moving around, and as we play with the different levels and we get on the different battlefields, I'm sure we're going to be amazed with the locations. But this kind of slower gameplay that you've got to do because of your lack of ammunition and the lack of spotting means that the game is a little bit slower, and you could argue that it isn't quite as much fun. Right, so all I can do there is put a marker on those guys. They've seen me. Here's a med pack. So there we go. They're the main changes that have happened from Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5. Quite large changes. And it remains to be seen. See, I'm out of ammo now. How much they really affect, I don't know, the sales of the game. I think they make the game a little bit less fun. Because you've got to do things like that, go after people with pistols, when I should have had access to my submachine gun. Anyway, that's enough from me. Put your questions and comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.